Have you ever been out for a walk and seen a cute puppy? When you approach it, it wags its tail, hopefully. You know that it wants to play with you or maybe get some cuddles. But then something happens. An adult runs over and picks up the puppy, ruining the moment. Have you ever wondered what the dog was thinking when this happened? Why did they run away? Were they scared of you? Did they want to keep playing? You might have noticed that dogs can communicate with us in ways, but it's not perfect. They might bark, growl, or whine to tell you what they want. But that doesn't always make sense. And sometimes their needs are more complex than simple commands like sit, stay, or come. Maybe if we could talk to them, our bond would become even stronger. Imagine what you could learn if you asked your furry friend a few questions. You could find out what made them so happy, what they thought about during the day, or what scared them at night. It would be amazing. But until that becomes possible, we'll never know. Unless, of course, you were the first person to crack the code of animal languages and become the world's first translator of animals. With the ability to speak to any creature, you would have access to millions of years of knowledge and experience. To help you do this, you need to learn about the types of languages animals use to communicate, how they developed, and the main obstacles standing in the way of interspecies conversations. And who knows, maybe by understanding these things, you'll also be able to understand Fluffy's meows just a little bit better. So first, you need to understand that talking to animals is going to be easy, because there is the universal animal language that you could learn to translate. Instead, there are countless unique communication methods. Some animals like honeybees use a combination of pheromones, sounds, and visual cues to convey messages to each other. Others like birds use song to communicate over long distances while on the ground. They use visual cues and sometimes and dolphins, well, they've developed a signature whistle that allows them to call each other by name. In addition, many animals such as dogs rely heavily on body language, so someone who wants to talk to animals would have to learn each species' specific mode of communication. Now that's a tall order. Even so, scientists have made some progress in understanding the languages of certain animals. For example, they've figured out that honeybee waggle dance is actually a form of communication that tells other bees where to find nectar and pollen. By understanding these different types of communication, you would be able to decipher the ways that animals send messages to one another. But that's only half of the battle, because animals don't just communicate with each other. Sometimes they need to communicate with us too. Animal researchers have found that the best way to figure out what an animal is trying to say is to watch its behavior very closely. It involves observing wild animals in their natural habitat. To do this properly, you must study their behaviors from before they were born all the way to adulthood. You need to see what happens every day. Does anything unusual happen on a regular basis? Does it seem to affect the animal? All of these things will help you interpret what the animal is saying. But there's still a major obstacle between you and becoming the world's greatest animal communicator: emotions. Animals feel a wide range of emotions, from joy to fear and everything in between. These feelings influence the way they communicate, and if you want to understand what they're saying, you need to consider their emotional state. That's why studying the evolution of emotions in animals is so important. Researchers want to know how different creatures develop their emotions and how those feelings shape their behaviors. And to become the world's foremost animal translator, you need to understand those things as well. After all, you don't want to misinterpret what a squirrel is saying because it's feeling threatened. You'd hate to start World War III just because you didn't understand some basic squirrel sign language. Now, once you've learned to read the signs, observe the animal, and know how it feels, you're ready to decode some messages. But here's the thing, you're not alone. Animal experts around the world are working hard to unlock the secrets of animal communication. One area where researchers have made great strides is in the field of dog communication. Using advanced technology, they've been able to decode the sounds dogs make. They've discovered that dogs can express a variety of emotions through their barks, including fear, excitement, and even pain. Another area where scientists have made significant progress is in the field of bee communication. By studying the waggle dance, they've been able to understand how bees communicate the location of food sources to each other. Scientists have also been able to decode some of the sounds that birds make. For example, they've discovered that the songs of white-throated sparrows are used to attract mates. Now, while these are just a couple of examples, dozens of similar studies are being conducted around the world, each bringing humanity one step closer to understanding the animal kingdom. And as more and more research is done, you could use that knowledge to build upon what has already been learned and become a master of languages. You may even discover that animals have much more complex communication systems than humans. After all, they've had millions of years to perfect their techniques, so who knows what secrets they're hiding. In fact, if you could talk to animals, you would learn that there are some species that possess intelligence comparable to humans. Take dolphins, for instance. They live in pods and have intricate social structures. Dolphins also have self-aware mirror neurons, which allow them to understand both their own actions and the actions of others. They use echolocation to navigate and communicate in murky waters. This remarkable species has fascinated humans for centuries, and scientists have made significant progress in understanding their communication methods. They know that dolphins use a variety of sounds to communicate, including whistles and clicks. The latest research suggests that dolphins even have names for each other. Each dolphin produces a unique signature whistle that other dolphins in the pod can recognize. Scientists believe that this whistle acts as the dolphiner's name, and that it is used to call attention to itself. In addition to their vocalizations, dolphins also use a form of sign language to communicate underwater. This includes a variety of gestures such as head nods, tail slaps, and fin raises. By studying these behaviors, scientists have been able to piece together the basics of dolphin communication and now know that dolphins can communicate about objects that are not immediately present. That means they can discuss food sources, potential predators, and even human divers who enter their environment. While scientists continue to unravel the mysteries of dolphin language, one thing is clear: these highly intelligent creatures have much to teach us about the world around them. But learning the languages of other creatures is only half the battle. To truly talk to an animal, you also need to figure out how to make them understand you. Fortunately, there are some tricks you can use to get any animal to listen. First, you need to understand their senses. Dogs, for instance, have much keener senses of smell and hearing than humans. That means that you need to use scents and sounds to get their attention. Once you have their attention, you need to use clear and concise language. Animals don't have the same understanding of the world that humans do, so you need to use simple words and phrases to get your point across. Finally, you need to be patient. It takes time for animals to learn new things, so don't expect them to understand you right away. Now, with these tips in mind, you should be able to communicate with any animal. So what if we could talk to animals? What would you ask your pets or the critters you see in the wild? Let us know in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.